so this is Kimbolton 2022, the Kimbolton Country Fair, that we in the Volvo Club have a small stand for the older Volvos. So as you can see, we're blessed with glorious weather today. It's the first show for 3 years, and let's hope more of you are back next year when we'll have equally good weather, hopefully. As you can see in the distance, we've got our Volvo P1800s here and Andrew's PV60 on the end. So there's 5.
Hi Roderick, this is your car, so do you want to tell us all about it?
Yeah, well this is a car that I bought 10 years ago in a pretty rough state, and I decided what I wanted to do was make sure it was a good car for touring, but it wouldn't necessarily be the prettiest car in the show, as it were. And so I've taken it to Sweden twice. I've taken it this year, actually I went to Gothenburg. I thought it'd be interesting to go both to the factory and to the museum. And it was rather nice to have it parked up outside the Volvo Museum in Gothenburg.
So presumably you had to drive quite a long way to get there, because the ferries have no longer with us, are they, from direct ferries?
That's very true, and it's kind of unfortunate now there's no easy way to get to Scandinavia by car unless you're prepared to take the route either going across the channel via Calais, or going Harwich to Hook of Holland, which was what we did, and drove over to Osnabrück for our first night in Germany before then going up to Kiel and getting a ferry from Kiel to Gothenburg.
Yeah.
And so that was an interesting thing to do. I hadn't done it that way before. It worked out very well. It's a fair old while on the ferry, but actually that's the thing that's nice about that, is that you then reduced your driving quite a lot. So that was a good thing to do.
So this isn't quite a sort of standard car, isn't it? There's one or two
very true. I mean,
things you've done.
This is a early 1964 car, so it is one of the early Swedish S models. I think what's interesting is that when it came to the summer closure in the factory of 1964, the decision was to make the significant changes to the trim, the chrome, etc. on the car. So this looks very much like a Jensen car, P1800. In fact, on my registration, my V5, it still says P1800. And somewhat interestingly, the first dealer got a bit confused between the body number and the chassis number. And it was only after I took ownership that on my first MOT, the DVLA said, but your MOT doesn't match what the previous history you've got of the car. So then I had to prove that actually no, it is all correct, and it was the dealer back in '64 who got it all wrong.
These wheels are not the usual wheels, are they, for the car?
Very true. I mean, I decided the car looked very nice with wire wheels. I'd seen someone else who'd gone with wire wheels. I had traditional wheels originally, and I decided to change to these. These actually are stainless steel wheels rather than chrome, and they are easier on maintenance than chrome, which is quite a benefit. And also, funny enough, actually significantly lighter.
Yeah. And the doors you say are different from a standard S.
Yeah. So I mean, the exterior is the same, but I decided it would be interesting just to go with the door cards to be as per the original Jensen built P1800, and I particularly liked the bottom fascia metallized finish to the door, which I thought this was a very stylish thing to do.
Yeah, so that's not metal then. It's fabric.
Actually is a kind of flexible plastic-based material, I think.
Right.
And I assume it is how they were originally done. They are difficult to fit, so they are flat in the middle.
Yeah.
I particularly like the early style dash, which is some people refer to as the jukebox style, as in American sort of world. And it is interesting that I think Volvo in the early era they decided to go with sort of internals that look rather Americana. Yeah, I've had to do quite a lot of restoration on the car because the corrosion that was starting to be visible through the wing crease line there really started to bubble quite significantly. So I've replaced the front wings and also the front nose cone of the car where there had been a huge amount of filler that had been put into the car, particularly in this area below the grille where it was completely rotten and had been stuffed with filler. And so this whole front section I've replaced.
Yeah, and you can you get the whole panel?
Yes, you can,
yeah.
but they're rare these days. Luckily, Simon at Brookhouse managed to locate one for me, which is
Good.
great. Then the other thing this year, that was 2 years ago that I did that. Then more recently, I had what I thought was just a small area of corrosion in the lower wing area there, just in front of the wheel. But in reality, I then had to have a new wing. But what was much more structural, there's a huge amount of corrosion that was inside the wheel arch, and so that all had to be reworked and replaced. And it's a wonderful Hungarian guy did some massive steelwork repair on the car to bring it back to be structurally all sound.
And I quite like your sunroof.
Yeah, I mean it's quite fun here. I mean I can't say absolutely when this happened, but the badges inside are from the original, Webasto agent company.
Yeah.
And I suspect this car, the Webasto roof would have been fitted when the car was just about new. It wouldn't have been done in the factory, but I suspect it probably was done when the car was, less than a year old.
No, that's really nice. That's a really nice story, Roderick. Thank you very much.
Okay, great.
Okay. Here's Chris with his lovely Jensen 1800, and you've come third, Chris, in the best of car in the show.
Yes, very good. A nice bottle of champagne to take home as well. So.
Oh, all right, well look, have a safe journey home, and I think you should have come first.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.